name's Louise, I'm from Glastonbury and I'm a barista.
Excellent. Do you know what synthetic engineering is?
No.
Okay, I'm just going to explain to you what it is and then we'll go from there. So, synthetic engineering is a new technology where the DNA code is removed from a living cell and then digitised in a computer. The DNA is then reprogrammed to do something that it is not intended to do by nature. This synthetic DNA is then placed into an empty cell and then a new synthetic life form is produced.
Okay.
What are your thoughts and emotions on this, and how does this concept make you feel? What does it seem like to you?
Sort of feel like if it's not naturally in, like obviously it's not natural, then maybe it shouldn't be tampered with. But at the same time, if it helps cure things that don't have a cure at the moment, then I'm all for it.
Okay. What do you think are the benefits from doing this?
Yeah, like I said, obviously to find cures for things like cancer or epilepsy or whatever, so I think that's a pro.
What do you think of the bad points, the pitfalls?
I don't know how you would test whether it would work or not, or whether it would make things worse for people.
Do you think it should be stopped or should it be established?
I think it should be established, but under great controls, because I think it could easily get out of hand.
Okay. Right, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to explain to you what it can do in a bit more detail. So, synthetic engineering is a technology that enables us to program microorganisms to hunt and kill cancerous cells, parasitic diseases such as malaria, and help rebuild damage left by liver and heart disease. It can also cure cancers such as leukemia in the blood. It can also program cells to stop epilepsy in the event of a seizure, as well as combat infectious illnesses such as MRSA. Synthetic engineering can also enable us to develop more sustainable methods of agriculture by cutting down the costs by eliminating the need for chemical pesticides. This new technology can also enable us to make new biofuels made from plants that are an alternative to fossil fuels and have much lower CO2 emissions. In third world and developing countries, we can also develop new ways of testing water for contaminants such as parasites and toxic waste, as well as develop new vaccines against polio, AIDS and other diseases. We can also use this method to clean up toxic oil spills out at sea, as well as develop new ways of generating energy that have little effect on the biosphere. What are your thoughts and emotions on synthetic engineering now after hearing that?
My thoughts on it are still pretty much the same, in that I'm all for it because of the cures of the cancer and stuff. I'm not really sure about the whole agriculture thing, because I'd need to know a bit more about it, I suppose, because I don't know, I think making things grow too quickly is not good.
Well, it's not really about making things grow quicker, it's about sustaining crops. So at the moment they're using chemical methods such as pesticides, but this will eradicate that. It will be cheaper and all of our food will be organic.
Yeah, sounds like a good idea.
So what are your thoughts and emotions? I've asked you that. So how does it make you feel? Does it make you feel optimistic? Does it make you feel sad or scared or worried?
Yeah, it makes me feel optimistic because they have this technology now, so we need to use it.
Okay. Do you still think it should be established or stopped?
Still think it should be established.
Okay. Now I'm going to explain to you some bad things about it and then ask you some similar questions. So, synthetic engineering is a technology that produces life forms. These synthetic life forms still need feeding. This means that there will need to be a whole new form of agriculture developed in order to feed the synthetic life forms that create our new biological fuels and materials. So farmers in third world countries will no longer just be farming to feed the human race, but will also be farming to feed the synthetic engineering industry. So say if they're making diesel from yeast, whereas opposed to at the moment it creates alcohol, they can reprogram yeast to make diesel. So yeast feeds on glucose. Glucose comes from sugar, and sugar needs to be grown. So sugar farmers will be having to grow more crops to feed this. So anyway, synthetic engineering could also be the root of new viruses and biological warfare, but it will also be a defence against any attacks of this nature. So what are your thoughts and emotions, and how does it make you feel now?
Well, having said all the bad things that could happen, I still feel the same. I think it's the direction that you need to go in. I think that it would probably take up a lot more of like rainforest space probably to grow more sugar or whatever it is that's needed. So maybe that's something that is not so good.
Finally, do you think this technology needs to be fully understood and addressed before we can all make a rational decision as to whether it's beneficial or otherwise? And is it a good idea to educate the world about this new technology?
I do think it's a good idea. I just think that yes, it does need to be tested for a very long time on a very small space of land or whatever before it does get out of hand, and there's nothing they can do about it to reverse it.